Right now at 6, hope for families who depend on SNAP benefits. A federal judge ordered the Trump administration must pay the full amount to those who use the federal food program. We have team coverage tonight on the fallout of the government shutdown.
WESH's Lindsay Sablon checked in on local food banks, and Michelle Meredith is at the airport, which may soon need to reduce operations. But first, Jesse Pagan is live in studio with this ruling on SNAP benefits. Jesse.
Summer Stu, a federal judge put pressure back on the White House to find the money to fully fund SNAP and do it quickly. The ruling is a response to a challenge from cities and nonprofits saying the White House was only offering to cover 65% of the maximum benefit. That comes after the Trump administration said last month it would not pay benefits at all because of the government shutdown. The SNAP program costs more than $8 billion per month nationally, and 42 million Americans depend on it. In his decision, U.S. District Judge John McConnell said the White House failed to consider the consequences associated with partially funding SNAP and failed to consider the harms individuals who rely on those benefits would suffer. The Trump administration is now under orders to deliver payments in full to the states by tomorrow. Summer.
All right, Jesse, thank you. And the SNAP benefits cannot come soon enough. As WESH's Lindsay Sablon found, families here in Central Florida still don't have the money for this month, putting them in just impossible situations.
Vegetables, milk, and meat, all essentials you need to live on, handed out by these volunteers at Inca in Orlando.
We are poor. They have to think a little bit in the poor people.
75-year-old Tarsis Milano is just one of hundreds who showed up to this food drive on Thursday. She was reluctant to speak at first, but opened up to help everyone understand the desperation right now.
The room that I rent before, I cannot rent it anymore. And I went to her house to live with her because I don't have how to pay a room.
Yeah. So I'm barely making it.
Barely making it, and now even more confusion. As we woke up Thursday morning, the Trump administration said SNAP recipients would only get half of what they normally do. For a family of four, that's a maximum of $497 a month compared to the normal max of $994. Hours later, a federal judge ordered the administration had to pay out the full amount, leaving families left to navigate all the uncertainty with no money on their cards. So do you get $112 for the both of you a month?
Yes,
Also,
ma'am.
For the household.
Yeah. That's it, 112.
A mother of 7 that I talked to said she didn't even know that SNAP had run dry until she was at the grocery store this week, had all of her items out, went to pay, and her card was declined. Here at Second Harvest Food Bank, they too are seeing the need increase. One of their partner agencies told me on Saturday they used to get 200 families. Now,
the last couple of months we've gone up to about 350, and then in the past couple of weeks, especially this past weekend, we served about 450 families.
providing food and dignity to neighbors in need. Covering Orange County, Lindsay Sablon, WESH 2 News.
Taking you now to a live look through our tower camera pointed at Orlando International Airport. The government shutdown potentially impacting flights in and out of Central Florida as we get closer to the holidays.
FAA says because of staffing shortages, flights in 40 major airports will now be cut by 10%. WESH's Michelle Meredith is live at Orlando International right now, which is expected to be one of them. Michelle.
Well, expected to be, because the folks here at Orlando International Airport tell us they have not received official word from the FAA yet that this airport is on the list. So this has already started off to be a very interesting ride. The FAA says this will be a slow rollout, starting at cutting flights at 4%, by Saturday 5%, Sunday 6%, and 10% starting next week. At this point, international flights will not be affected.
That will be a disaster. That will be like an earthquake for our industry right now.
Abe Pazam, retired from the Rosen College of Hospitality and veteran travel expert, says if Orlando is hit hard in terms of fewer flights, that means potentially fewer people in hotels, theme parks, restaurants. Pazam says the trickle-down effect could be tremendous.
Don't forget that we are in the holiday season where people travel to visit families and friends or to have some fun. And that might affect disproportionately Orlando versus other destinations that are not necessarily dependent on tourism.
They've reached their financial point of breaking.
Douglas Lowe, who represents the union that supports the ecosystem for the airlines, technical operations, safety inspections, says the FAA is doing what it has to do, now facing the longest government shutdown in history. Yes, flights are delayed, some will disappear, but Lowe says please consider the human factor.
They went without one paycheck and they're still coming into work, but now they're at the point that, okay, I've got to pay my mortgage, I've got to pay my child care, I've still got to put gas in the car to get to work. How do I do this? And that's stressful. And when we're having to have those conversations at work, that distracts us from doing our regular job.
But passengers we talk to understand but are bracing for the impact.
When I come home Tuesday, we might be staying in Florida a little bit extra, but who knows? I don't know. We'll see what happens. I have no problem staying here, I can tell you that much.
So what can you do if you want to travel? Well, the experts say try to book early or you can drive. Hit the road. Live in Orange County, Michelle Meredith, WESH 2 News.
Michelle, thank you. And from federal to local impacts, WESH 2 has you covered as the shutdown continues. You can find the most up-to-date information on air and online at WESH.com.
The Eustis City Commission is considering a resolution tonight that would help get a partially collapsed bridge back up and running. A part of the bridge at the Spring Ridge Estate started to crumble after last month's heavy rains, forcing 21 families to evacuate their homes. Tonight, officials will discuss who is paying for the repairs. WESH 2 is inside that meeting. We'll bring you the decision tonight at 10 and 11.
Happening right now in Palm Bay, the city council is meeting for the first time since Councilman Chandler Langevin sued the city. Here's a live look inside council chambers. Langevin has been in the hot seat for weeks now following social media posts targeting the Indian American community. His fellow council members even sent a letter to the governor asking for him to be removed from his seat and then voted to censure him for what they described as conduct unbecoming of an elected official. We have contacted the governor's office several times asking how it plans to rule and for reaction to Langevin's social media comments, but we have yet to hear anything back. Of course, if that changes, we will be sure to let you know.
A small plane made an emergency landing this afternoon on State Road 407 near I-95 in North Brevard County. The sheriff's office says the plane landed due to an engine failure. Now, the pilot was not injured. We're also told that a vehicle was involved in the landing, but it is unclear if anyone was inside of that vehicle was hurt. That plane has since been towed away.
The trial for the estranged wife of suspended Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez will now start next month. The court just pushed it back today after Robin Severance Lopez here rejected a plea deal with prosecutors, one that offered no prison time. But her lawyer, Michelle Yard, says the deal would have meant Severance Lopez would be found guilty of 2 third-degree felonies. And the idea of that, being labeled as a felon, was just too much.
She's facing up to 30 years by going to trial. She's also being held on no bond right now, and if she were to take their deal today, she'd be home.
Her trial for the gambling charges was set to start on Monday. Today, her lawyer asked for it to be pushed back a month so she can work through all the evidence from prosecutors. It's now set for December the 8th.
2 local corrections officers are facing charges in the beating of a state prison inmate. The victim was inmate Robert Panayotis of Volusia County. Charged with aggravated battery, tampering with evidence, and use of force are Samsara Clofat and Ruben Santillas, who authorities believe is on the run. Clofat went before a judge today and was granted bond, ordered to stay away from the victim, and revealed that she is on administrative leave. She and Santillas were working at the Central Florida Reception Center in East Orange County. A state investigation says Santillas beat the inmate with a radio, and Clofat prevented the inmate from running from the alleged attack.
Over in Flagler County now, deputies there say they have arrested a man accused of trafficking fentanyl.
So I'm not going to jail, am I?
Yeah, you're under arrest.
Oh, come on.
Turn around.
Come on, please.
All right, deputies pulled over 62-year-old David Burley here in a traffic stop on Wednesday. They say the license plate of the motorcycle he was driving did not match the registered owner. They then discovered the motorcycle had an expired registration under a different name. While arresting Burley, though, deputies say they found he had a loaded gun, close to 25 grams of fentanyl, and more than $2,000 in cash. Now to Commitment 2026, Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings is kicking off his race for governor.
The Democrat is entering what is supposed to be a crowded field in the race to replace Republican Governor Ron DeSantis. Here's a live look at the event, which just kicked off less than an hour ago. West 2's first report on Monday that Demings had filed the paperwork with the state to enter this race for governor. Now, Demings, hoping to take his experience in government and law enforcement to Tallahassee, he says he wants to tackle the affordability crisis and other issues facing Floridians if he's able to win his party's nomination. If you want to listen into the event, you can do so right now on WESH.com. WESH 2 is committed to complete coverage of the governor's race leading up to next year's election. You just heard yesterday from former State House Speaker Paul Renner, who is expected to be Congressman Byron Donalds' biggest competition among the Republicans. You can find those stories inside of WESH.com.
Now to the immigration overhaul in Florida. A House panel has now approved a proposal to require all private employers to use the federal E-Verify system. Now that system checks the immigration status of new workers. Right now, small businesses are exempt from using E-Verify. House Bill 197 was filed for consideration during the 2026 legislative session. It has already passed the GOP-led House Industries and Professional Activities Subcommittee. The bill's sponsor says this closes a gap in the current law, while opponents say immigration enforcement should be left to Congress.
It's been used for all public sector employers. This is nothing new. Or any private sector employers who contract with the state has been using this. This is from nonprofits to for-profit businesses. This simply closes the gap that we currently have.
Immigration cannot be a patchwork of different solutions. It has to be comprehensive. We are one nation.
Now, if the law passes during the next legislative session, it would take effect in July.
A teen is accused of attacking a teacher, even trying to take the school resource deputy's gun.
And investigators say it's not the first time he's acted out like this. Why that student was allowed to keep going to school until now. Tony.
And I tell you what, we've got some major changes from near record heat to near record cold. I'm timing it all out for you straight ahead.
Plus, we're live in Gainesville as the Gators, the defending national champions, open their home schedule tonight against North Florida. That and a lot more coming up later in sports.
A 15-year-old is facing criminal charges, several of them, after deputies say he attacked a teacher and then tried to take a deputy's gun. This all happened at Gardendale Separate Day School on Merritt Island.
West 2's Megan Moriarty reports the sheriff says the student will never step foot on that property again.
This 15-year-old is now facing charges for battery on a law enforcement officer, criminal mischief, and trying to disarm an officer.
Not only had he attacked and kicked one of our teachers, but then he starts trying to attack our deputy and actually physically trying to take his gun away from him.
We're not showing his face or sharing his name because of his age. According to an arrest affidavit, the student was behaving unsafely on campus and eloped into the parking lot. He began striking a vehicle in the parking lot, not causing any damage. After being escorted back inside, he intentionally kicked a behavior technician multiple times in the shin area. Upon attempting to place the suspect in restraints, he kicked the deputy several times in the chest. According to the affidavit, he then used his hands to grab the AR-15 that is affixed to the deputy's ballistic vest and pulled on it, causing the metal attachment mounting bracket to bend.
This isn't his first time. Nope. In another county, he's actually done it multiple times where he attacked teachers and students, but yet here he is, still in school, attacking another teacher.
The school district confirmed his arrest, adding, "This is a school which serves students from grades K through 12 with significant behavioral and emotional challenges who require a more structured, supportive, or specialized environment." The 15-year-old was taken to the Circles of Care, a behavioral and mental health facility, but the sheriff's office says he could be transferred to the Department of Juvenile Justice.
I can tell you, I'm working very closely with our public schools, Dr. Rendell, who we have a great partnership with, to make sure that this young man never sets foot on one of our campuses again.
Covering Brevard County on Merritt Island, Megan Moriarty, West 2 News.
After every big storm, some Daytona Beach neighborhoods end up underwater, and for some residents, it's more than just flooding. Raw sewage has been seeping into their homes and streets. And that's why the city just finished a major upgrade to one of its oldest and most critical pump stations, Lift Station 5, right off of Shady Place. Now, this pump moves wastewater, but during heavy rains, it can flood. And when that happens, human waste then backs up into homes and streets. And as you can imagine, some say the sight and smell pretty hard to forget.
It looked horrible. It looked horrible because you saw pieces of all kinds of crap floating around, and it's like, ew.
The entire project cost $8.7 million. There are at least half a dozen other lift stations in the city's flood-prone areas that are set to be upgraded soon as well.
I think everyone would say that's money well spent.
Yes.
All right,
absolutely.
Blue Origin is targeting this Sunday for New Glenn's second launch. It will send a NASA spacecraft on its way to Mars. This launch will be out of Launch Complex 36 over at Cape Canaveral. UCF is preparing the next generation of students for the space economy. Starting next spring, UCF will offer a space MBA program. This is designed for professionals or people looking to break into the space industry. Students have the option to do the program online part-time.
And weather-wise, the dry and cool trend continues.
Chief Meteorologist Tony Manalfi joins us now. Tony, we're about to hit a bit of a roller coaster ourselves outside.
Yeah, I tell you what, we're going to be jumping up to the mid-80s this week, and then we're going straight down by the time we get you into Monday night and Tuesday. All right, let's take you up towards Daytona Beach. Love that shot up there. Current temperature up that way, 72 to 69 at Wildwood, and low 70s down to the south where we have a little bit of light rain moving across the far southern reaches now of our viewing area. So the Turnpike and I-95 are wet from Melbourne down to the south. We'll get in a little bit closer here. You can see there's Melbourne Beach over towards Palm Bay. Floridana Beach, some light showers kind of moving out over the open waters there of the Atlantic. This is a little bit overdone on the northern side. Most of the rain is going to be down towards the south tonight. Plenty of clouds across the entire area coming in off of the Gulf, but that should not impact tonight's Atlas V launch there. 80% go. We'll watch that rain shield, though. If it were to lift a little bit further to the north, then that could be a bit more problematic. I don't think, though, that is going to happen. North and west, upper 50s, metro areas, mid 60s. Down to the south, upper 60s to around the 70-degree mark. Look at all the clouds across central and south Florida. Tomorrow we might get A little bit of sunshine mid to late morning. That may allow for some showers to develop in the afternoon, but it would be pretty much in the same area, south and east of Orlando, Osceola, over towards Brevard, maybe as far north as southern Volusia County, where temperatures tomorrow will climb up into the upper 70s to near the 80-degree mark. Back through the interior, 80 to 85 degrees. Over towards the attractions, you are going to be in fantastic shape from start to finish. Just a few clouds out there. And then as we head into the evening, of course, we've got the Cougars and the Knights kicking off at 8 o'clock, feeling good, and a temperature of 72 degrees. Futurecast now for the weekend. A few isolated showers on Saturday as the flow comes in off of the Gulf of Mexico. A little more moisture out ahead of this front now as we head into Sunday. That'll give us a chance for some showers with near record heat. Mid-80s on Saturday. How about this in Orlando? 42 degrees, waking up behind this front come Tuesday morning. This is the real deal, folks. You are going to get a big-time shock to the system. Total wardrobe change from the weekend into the morning hours there on Tuesday. Look at the temperatures here, slated to be in the 30s north and west of I-4, 40 to 45 Orlando on south and east. Records that could be in jeopardy now. Leesburg could tie their record low temperature there, so that's something we're going to be watching. And then when you factor in the wind chill values upper 20s, low 30s north and west, mid 30s in town. Wednesday morning, more of the same there. And with the cold weather and the potential for lighter winds, that could mean some frost here north and west of the metro areas. Of course, we'll keep you posted on that going forward. I want to go ahead and put together for you now Central Florida's most accurate 7-day forecast. 83, 86, 85, and then next week we are talking about fantastic weather, tons of sun, crisp and cool. We don't moderate until Thursday. All right, let's send you back out to Darren.
All right, hey there, Tony. Coming up in sports, we're talking Orlando Magic basketball, why they hope their next stretch will be much better than it has been in the recent weeks. Plus, we are live in Gainesville as the Gators return home to play their first game in this city since winning a national title back in April. We'll hear from Todd Golden next in sports.
WESH 2 Sports, sponsored by Mullinax Ford.
The home opener. Hello, everybody. I'm Darren Stoltzfus. Welcome in live to Gainesville, Florida, where tonight the Gators play their first home game since claiming the national championship back.